Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steve Harvey. Let me talk to you today like family, because this right here applies to everybody in this room. I don't care if you're married, dating, talking, confused, or proudly single. Relationship advice ain't one size fits all, but the truth is universal. And the best advice you will ever receive is this: know where you stand, know what you want, and never accept less than what you deserve. If you're married, let me start with you. Marriage is not about perfection, it's about commitment. You don't wake up every day madly in love, but you do wake up every day with a choice. Love is a decision you make when feelings get tired. The problem with a lot of marriages is people stop doing what they did to get each other. You stop listening. You stop appreciating. You stop saying thank you. You stop dating your own spouse. Marriage don't fall apart overnight. It erodes slowly when effort disappears. If you're married, your job is not to be right. Your job is to be loving. Protect your marriage like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Now, if you're dating, listen to me real close. Dating is not marriage practice. It's information gathering. This is the season where people show you who they really are, not who they say they are. Stop ignoring red flags just because you like how someone makes you feel. Feelings will lie to you if you let them. Pay attention to consistency, not words. Anybody can talk, but very few people can show up the same way every time. If someone tells you they're not ready, believe them. If someone keeps you confused, that's your answer. Dating is not about potential, it's about patterns. Let me slow this thing down and talk directly to the people who are married, because marriage is the one relationship that don't survive on feelings alone. Marriage survives on decisions. Every single day you wake up married, you are choosing that person again, whether you feel like it or not. Love is beautiful, but love by itself is not enough. If love was enough, divorce wouldn't exist. What keeps a marriage standing is commitment, effort, and respect, especially on the days when emotions are low and patience is thin. A lot of people get married thinking happiness is automatic. They think once they say, "I do," everything is supposed to fall into place. But marriage doesn't come with autopilot. You don't cross a finish line, you step onto a track. Marriage is work, but not the kind of work that breaks you, the kind that builds you. And the problem today is people quit when it gets uncomfortable, not realizing that discomfort is part of growth. Anything valuable requires maintenance, and your marriage is one of the most valuable things you will ever own. Here's where most marriages start slipping. People stop doing the small things. You stop listening like you used to. You stop saying thank you for the everyday stuff. You stop checking in emotionally. You stop dating your spouse. See, before you got married, you made time. You paid attention. You tried. After marriage, life shows up, bills show up, stress shows up, kids show up, and effort slowly disappears. And when effort leaves, distance moves in quietly. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent and steady. Marriage don't usually end because of one big mistake. It ends because of 1,000 small neglects, unspoken frustrations, unmet needs, unappreciated sacrifices. People want to feel seen, heard, and valued. When those things disappear, resentment replaces love. That's why communication is not optional in marriage, it's oxygen. If you stop talking, stop listening, stop understanding, your marriage starts suffocating. Another hard truth is this: being right will cost you more than being loving ever will. Some people would rather win an argument than protect their marriage. Ego has destroyed more marriages than infidelity ever did. You don't always need to prove your point. Sometimes you need to protect the partnership. The right person will not require you to abandon your values to keep them. Also understand this: if someone tells you they are not ready, believe them. Don't hear that and think you're the exception. You are not here to convince someone to choose you. Mutual interest does not need persuasion. If effort feels forced, it's because it is. The right connection flows with clarity, not constant anxiety. Dating is also where you must be honest with yourself. Are you dating out of desire or out of loneliness? Loneliness will make you tolerate things you'd normally walk away from. Healing matters. If you carry unhealed wounds into dating, you will bleed on people who didn't cut you. Take responsibility for your emotional health before expecting someone else to manage it. At its core, dating is preparation, not possession. You are learning, discerning, and deciding. When dating is done right, it leads to clarity, not confusion. Teaches you what you want, what you need, and what you refuse to accept. And when you finally choose someone, it won't be because you were afraid to be alone. It will be because the connection added value, peace, and purpose to your life. Now, let me speak directly to my single people, because being single is often misunderstood and unfairly judged. Somewhere along the way, society convinced people that being single means you're incomplete, like you're waiting for someone else to make your life whole. That idea is wrong. Being single is not a failure, it's a foundation. It's a season designed to build you, not break you, not break you. When you're single, you have the rare opportunity to get to know yourself without distraction. You learn what you like, what you won't tolerate, and what actually brings you peace. Too many people jump from relationship to relationship without ever stopping to ask, who am I when nobody is choosing me? Singleness answers that question. And when you know who you are, you stop accepting connections that don't align with your values. One of the greatest gifts of being single is healing. Every relationship leaves something behind, good or bad. If you don't take time to heal, you carry old wounds into new relationships. That's how good people get punished for past hurt they didn't cause. Singleness gives you space to process, to reflect, and to release. Healing doesn't mean you forget what happened. It means you no longer let it control how you love. Being single also teaches you self-reliance. You learn how to stand on your own emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. When you can support yourself, you stop looking for someone to rescue you. You start looking for someone to compliment you. There's a big difference. A healthy relationship is two whole people choosing to walk together, not two broken people leaning on each other to survive. Let me say this clearly. Loneliness is dangerous when you don't understand it. Loneliness will convince you to accept attention instead of intention. It will make you confuse consistency with commitment and affection with love. When you're single, you must learn the difference between being alone and being lonely. Being alone is a physical state. Loneliness is an emotional one. You can be single and fulfilled or married and lonely. Relationship status does not guarantee happiness. Singleness is also where standards are born. When you're not distracted by someone else's needs, you can define your own boundaries. You get to decide what behavior you will no longer tolerate. You learn to say no without guilt, and yes, without fear. And the moment you truly enjoy your own company, you become selective. You stop entertaining situations that waste your time and energy. Another powerful thing about being single is growth. This is the season where you invest in yourself, your goals, your purpose, your faith, your future. When you're single, you can move with focus and clarity. You can work on becoming the person you want to be instead of trying to be what someone else wants. And when you grow, you naturally attract healthier connections. Being single also removes pressure. You don't have to perform, prove, or pretend. You don't have to compromise your identity just to keep someone interested. You get to be yourself fully and honestly. That freedom is powerful. And many people don't realize how valuable it is until they lose it. At the end of the day, being single is not about waiting for love. It's about preparing for it. When you're whole on your own, you don't settle for half love. You don't chase what doesn't choose you. You recognize your worth without needing validation from anyone else. And when the right relationship finally comes, it won't complete you. It will simply add to the life you've already built. Let me tell you something a lot of people don't want to hear, but they need to hear it. Love without respect will never last. You can have passion, chemistry, history, and deep feelings, but if respect is missing, the relationship will slowly turn into pain. Love might bring you together, but respect is what keeps you together. When respect leaves, love starts fighting for survival. Respect shows up in how you speak to each other, especially when you're angry. Anybody can be kind when things are good, but respect is revealed during disagreement. If someone loves you but talks down to you, embarrasses you, dismisses your feelings, or makes you feel small, that is not love in action. Love does not humiliate. Love does not belittle. Love does not belittle. Love does not make you question your worth. Respect says, even when I'm upset, I still value you. A lot of people confuse emotional attachment with love. Attachment says, I don't want to lose you. Love says, I don't want to hurt you. There's a difference. Someone can be deeply attached to you and still disrespect you. They may not want you to leave, but they also don't protect your heart. And when disrespect becomes normal, the relationship becomes toxic. You start walking on eggshells, you start shrinking yourself to avoid conflict. That's not love. That's survival mode. Respect also means honesty, not brutal honesty that wounds, but truthful honesty that builds trust. Lying, hiding, and manipulating are all forms of disrespect. When someone lies to you, they are deciding for you. They are taking away your right to make informed choices about your own life. That's not love. Love gives you truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Another sign of respect is effort. If someone values you, they will show it consistently. They won't make you beg for basic communication. They won't disappear and reappear like nothing happened. Inconsistent effort sends a clear message, and that message is you are optional. Love does not treat people as options. Respect says, you matter enough for me to show up. Let me say this too, respect includes boundaries. When you say something hurts you and it continues to happen, that's disrespect. When you express your needs and they're ignored, that's disrespect. Love listens. Love adjusts. Love doesn't say, that's just how I am, and expect you to suffer in silence. Growth is part of love, and growth requires respect for each other's limits. A lot of relationships fail because people prioritize being loved over being respected. They say, at least they love me, while accepting behavior that slowly erodes their confidence. But love without respect will cost you your peace, your self-esteem, and eventually your identity. The longer you stay in disrespect, the more you normalize it, and the harder it becomes to recognize your own worth. Respect also means how someone treats your dreams, your time, and your values. If someone constantly minimizes what matters to you, mocks your goals, or ignores your priorities, they are telling you exactly how much they value you. Love celebrates growth. Love supports purpose. Love doesn't compete with your success. And here's the part that's hard. You cannot teach someone to respect you if they don't already value you. You can communicate your needs. You can set boundaries, but you cannot force respect. Respect is a choice. And when someone consistently chooses not to respect you, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop accepting it. At the end of the day, love should feel safe. It should feel supportive. It should feel steady. Respect is what makes love sustainable. Without it, love becomes exhausting. And no matter how strong your feelings are, never stay where respect is absent, because love is not supposed to hurt your sense of self. Let me talk to you about something that ruins a lot of relationships before they even have a fair chance, and that is forcing timing. Forcing timing. Timing matters more than people want to admit. You can meet someone amazing, someone kind, someone who checks a lot of boxes, but if the timing is wrong, the relationship will struggle. And struggling from the beginning is a sign, not a challenge you're supposed to conquer. A lot of people confuse connection with readiness. Just because two people feel something doesn't mean they are prepared to build something. Readiness is about emotional availability, maturity, stability, and alignment in values. When one person is ready and the other is not, the relationship becomes unbalanced. One person gives more, waits more, sacrifices more, and slowly loses themselves trying to hold something together that was never stable to begin with. Forcing timing usually looks like ignoring your own discomfort. You start compromising your needs just to keep the connection alive. You tell yourself to be patient when your spirit is already tired. You silence your intuition because you don't want to lose the person. But the truth is, anything you have to force will eventually break. Healthy relationships don't require constant convincing, chasing, or proving your worth. Timing also involves personal growth. Sometimes people meet before they've healed, before they've matured, or before they've figured out who they are. And instead of growing together, they end up triggering each other's wounds. That's how love turns into conflict. That's how affection turns into resentment. Growth cannot be rushed, and love cannot fix what someone refuses to heal. Another mistake people make is believing that love means endurance. They think staying through confusion, inconsistency, and emotional distance is proof of commitment. But love is not about how much pain you can tolerate. Love is about mutual effort, clarity, and peace. If you're constantly anxious about where you stand, if you're always waiting for someone to change or choose you, the timing is wrong. Let me say this clearly. The right person at the wrong time will still hurt you, and the wrong person at the right time will still disappoint you. Timing without alignment is chaos. Alignment without timing is frustration. You need both. And when both are present, you don't feel like you're fighting for the relationship alone. Forcing timing often comes from fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. fear of missing out. Fear will make you settle for potential instead of reality. It will make you cling to promises instead of patterns. But fear-based relationships are exhausting. They keep you in survival mode instead of allowing you to relax into love. Sometimes the most mature decision you can make is to walk away, not because there's no love, but because there's no readiness. Walking away doesn't mean the connection wasn't real. It means you respect yourself enough to not force something that requires you to shrink, wait indefinitely, or abandon your values. Timing also teaches patience. Not passive waiting, but active preparation. While you're waiting for the right relationship, you work on becoming the right partner. You heal, you grow, you build your life. That way, when timing finally aligns, you're not desperate, you're ready. Relationships that are meant to last don't start in chaos. They start with clarity. You don't feel confused, anxious, or unsure. You feel steady. You feel secure. You feel secure. You feel chosen. And when timing is right, effort feels natural. Communication feels honest, and love feels like a partnership instead of a struggle. At the end of the day, forcing timing is a form of self-betrayal. Trust that what's meant for you will not require you to lose yourself to keep it. When the timing is right, love doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like peace. Let me leave you with something that can change every relationship in your life if you truly understand it. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. This is one of the hardest truths to accept because it means taking responsibility for the patterns you keep experiencing. If you keep ending up in the same situations with different people, it's not bad luck, it's a boundary issue. A lot of people say they know their worth, but their behavior tells a different story. Knowing your worth is not something you say, it's something you enforce. It shows up in what you tolerate, what you walk away from, and what you refuse to explain more than once. The moment you start accepting less than you deserve just to keep someone, you begin losing yourself piece by piece. Standards are not demands. Standards are requirements for access to your life. They are not about controlling someone else. They are about protecting yourself. When you lower your standards to avoid conflict, loneliness, or abandonment, you send a message that your needs are optional. And once people see that you'll accept less is exactly what they'll give. Let me say this clearly. Love should not require you to beg for effort. If you have to constantly remind someone to communicate, to respect you, or to show up, that relationship is already unbalanced. Mutual interest does not need chasing. When someone values you, effort is natural. When they don't, excuses become routine. Another mistake people make is confusing patience with tolerance. Patience is giving someone time to grow when they are showing effort. Tolerance is staying silent while your boundaries are repeatedly crossed. One builds relationships, the other destroys self-respect. If someone keeps doing what hurts you after you've clearly communicated it, that's not misunderstanding, that's a choice. Boundaries will cost you people, and that's okay. Everyone who benefits from your lack of boundaries will be uncomfortable when you start enforcing them. But losing people who only stayed because you overgave is not a loss, it's a release. The right people will respect your boundaries. The wrong ones will resist them. Here's another truth. You cannot save someone by sacrificing yourself. Overgiving does not create appreciation. It creates entitlement. When you constantly pour into someone who gives little back, you teach them that your needs don't matter. Love is not self-abandonment. Love is mutual care. Standards also protect your peace. When you know what you will and will not accept, decision-making becomes easier. You stop overthinking. You stop making excuses for behavior that doesn't align with your values. Peace is not found by pleasing others. It's found by honoring yourself. Let me talk about consistency. If someone is inconsistent with you, believe that message. Don't romanticize their potential. Don't explain away their absence. Consistency is not too much to ask. It's the bare minimum. And if someone can't meet the minimum, they are not qualified for access to your heart. Raising your standards will feel uncomfortable at first. You'll feel lonely. You'll second-guess yourself. You'll wonder if you're asking for too much. But what you're really doing is unlearning the habit of settling. Temporary discomfort is better than permanent disappointment. At the end of the day, the quality of your relationships reflects the level of self-respect you practice. When you honor your worth, you attract people who do the same. And when you stop allowing what hurts you, you make space for what heals you.